today we are going to be reviewing Conjuring the Lost Rites. So everybody know what the Conjuring franchise is all about, spooky, scary, ghost behind you, ghost in front of you. You think the ghost is going to be behind you, but it's actually in front of you. But for those that don't know what the Conjuring is, I'll explain. The film is the 9th installment in the Conjuring Universe based on the true life investigations of the Smurl haunting. So Conjuring the Lost Rites take place in 1986, where the paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren travel to Pennsylvania to vanquish a demon from a family's home. For those that doesn't know about who the family is, it is the Smurl family haunting. I don't want to go too much into detail because there's been thousands of videos made about it, but just to give a small, briefing about it, here we go. So basically, the Smurl haunting refers to claims made by Jack and Janet Smurl, who alleged that a demon inhabited their home between 1974 and 1989. The Smurls claimed gained wide press attention and were investigated by demonologists who encouraged the family's supernatural beliefs, psychologists and scientific skeptics who offered more paranormalous explanations. The Smurls' version of their story was the subject of a 1986 paperback titled The Haunting and a 1991 made-for-TV movie for the same name, released by 20th Century Fox in the film which I'm going over now, The Conjuring Lost Rites. So basically in the story it's mainly focused around the Smurls, but the film's version is way more censored and everything, because the actual version, and I'll tell you about it now, is actually way more disgusting. So what I mean by that, it's basically the Smurls moved into this double block house on Chase Street in Patterson, Pennsylvania in August 1973. They claimed that the premises was disturbed by a demon that caused loud noises and bad odors, threw the dog against a wall, which they show in the actual movie, shook their mattresses and pushed one of their daughters down ovens, which I'm glad they didn't show in the movie because I would have been way more, disturbing. But the way how it is presented in the movie is way better than the actual, haunting. So basically, the plot of the movie, we're gonna go over it now. So we start with young Ed and Lorraine, just going over what they normally do best, investigating hauntings and everything like that. But we can see a young version of them where Lorraine is pregnant with their daughter. They go into this antique shop where the person that works there is describing something that's not normal, which is a haunting. And that's where we get, our classic duo Ed and Lorraine to investigate it. And so we go where Lorraine is obviously, the main source of all this energy. She can sense everything, so she goes up the stairs, she checks where everything is, but she stumbles across this mirror with a crack in. And she's sensing deep energy where, it's not really good when they sense a lot of energy. And the moment she touches the mirror, guess what happens? Bah! Baby's on the way. Which to me it was like, baby time is ready now. We get cut shot into Ed driving Lorraine to the hospital, but as we're driving, she's mumbling this thing, and the way she's mumbling it is like a safe haven thing where when she says just to calm herself down, doesn't work out. The baby's actually coming now, and that's, building up tension to the movie now. Now we're getting shot. Oh my word, she's pregnant, the baby's coming. We just get this whole quick montage of them. So the baby's name is Judy, and we get this very sad scene where so obviously when Lorraine touched the murder, something followed them to the hospital. We get this really cool shot of this hand reaching on top of the roof, but then it gets faded away, but then it comes back. You get to see a portion of the body or whatever this entity is. Lorraine can see it. Eddie's wondering, did this thing really follow us now? Is this thing here? Bah! lights cut off. Doctors have to see what's happening here. But then we get this really sad moment where Judy is born, but she's stillborn. And we get this really like sad but powerful, to me, scene where they're keeping Judy, where Lorraine wants to see Judy. Doctors hand Judy over. It's a really sad scene. She's keeping Judy, but she's praying as well, or begging to God, like, please just bring my daughter back, and all these things. Ed is just trying to comfort her, but then Judy comes back, and that's how they kick into the movie, which was like, why did you have to make it so sad, man? But they got me hooked, and I sat through the movie, so and I'm making a review about it. So yeah, that's how they opened up The Conjuring, and I feel like it was a cool opening idea, so props to them. Anyway, 22 years later, Judy is older. She has a boyfriend that works in the police station. At the police station, he's a cop, so obviously he works at the police station. And Ed and Lorraine still doing what they do, having classes, seminars, telling the world about their experiences and what and how you can prevent them and everything like that. But people thought some youngsters were taking them for a joke, how youngsters are. So yeah, they're just going about life. Ed from The Conjuring 3 has still a heart condition, so he has to take it easy. That's why they kind of quit all the investigating things. And that's when we see Judy, Lorraine, and Ed, just being a family. And they go to this restaurant just to have nice family time. It's been a while since I've seen you, so we want to catch up. That is when we see that Lorraine's senses or powers, I'm gonna say powers, carried on into Judy. So Judy is almost like Lorraine, where they can sense spirits and entities and things like that. But this time it was a bad juju. They are eating, but then the camera is focused on Lorraine, because when the camera is focused on her, we know something bad's gonna happen. It slowly pans, and that's when Lorraine sees something behind Judy. But Judy's busy saying this, I don't want to say chant, but it's something that Lorraine and her did when Judy was a child, just to make them feel safe. It was almost like a rain go away type thing, but their version of it. Judy's like focused on the table because she doesn't want to see it. You can see the panic on her face. She's saying it slowly but softly. Ed is still trying to catch on what's happening, if the two of them is okay. Lorraine just puts her hand on top of Judy and just says it's gonna be okay. Of the movie, I must say, it is really good. Some of the people in my cinema was very obnoxious, but it's fine. It added to the experience. When there was a jump scare, people shouted. I obviously flinched because it was loud. It's my first horror movie in the cinema, so obviously it's like, wow, I've never seen this so cool before. The noises are so loud. Apparently there is like four demons, but one of them is controlling the three of them. So in the small house there is about 8. So Jack and Janet Smurl shares a home with Jack's parents, Mary and John, along with their 4 daughters, Dawn, Heather, and the twins, Karen and Shannon. Yeah, that is like 8 people. 7 people, 7 people in the house. Yeah, so there's 8 of them in one house, and the movie starts with like, I think it is Heather's like confirmation, there we go, by the priest. She's a big woman now, she's a woman of God and things like that. And basically she gets a gift by her grandparents, and it's this mirror with faces on. She's like, you know what, I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna take it, you know. And then she just places the murder in like the living room, I guess, dining room, where they're sitting by a table, and that is when we see that murder. That murder is the bad one. That murder is the whole thing of why all of this is happening. And throughout the movie, we just see these hauntings happen, where one of the sisters are just coughing, and then apparently there's glass in her throat where she coughs it out, and you get this montage of just vomit and stuff. And then we can see this is where things are getting serious now. Next haunting, it's where the dad is just, you know, being a dad, you know, I'm about to go to bed, I'm gonna put my head down. We see something we're not supposed to see. The dad starts levitating, his body starts doing like, so your feet is like this, right? It's not supposed to be like curling up. It's not supposed to do that. We saw all of that. The guy can't breathe. The wife wakes up, tries to go run down. Oh, we see another thing. Bah! One of the daughters goes over the footage that the grandpa recorded by a birthday. Not a birthday, the correlation cake or whatever it's called. I'm saying it wrong. She goes over the footage because she sees that something is wrong. She goes over she goes over it the whole time. She sees her face the moment she blew out the candle. The thing up and down. When it was going up and down, the camera pans up. We see two little white glowing line dots there, but it's nothing. And we saw that in the trailer. It's like ornaments, but the camera pans, it goes over the girl's face to like a corner in one of the rooms. The moment the light shines away from it, bah! The man with the axe, that's apparently like the husband that killed everybody. I don't know why. I know why. I'm saying I don't know why. Yeah, that's one of the spirits as well. Next one was like Judy. So Judy's about to get married. There was this whole funny thing of Ed and Lorraine, and obviously the spouse that wants to marry Judy. It was just very, very, very funny in this movie. It was just very funny. But obviously Ed doesn't want to give off Judy because, you know, Judy is still something near and dear to them. But eventually, you know, he has to give her off. But yeah, we get this really cool shot of this house of murder type scene. That's where we see another one of the spirits. That was really cool. It made me flinch. Annabelle is apparently in this movie also. I don't know why Annabelle is here. I think Annabelle just doesn't like Judy. I think because of Annabelle Creation. I think it's Annabelle Creation. That movie was centered around Judy and Annabelle. So I think Annabelle just does not like Judy. And then we see everything else in this movie, what which is really cool. I love the sound design in this movie. It was really cool too. Obviously, you know, it is the last Conjuring movie in the franchise. I hope it's not, because I want more now. They really upped the horror in this movie, so now I want more. Yeah, so they had to send it off where we see Judy and the not boyfriend anymore, husband, gets married now. Lorraine does the sweet dance, but before that, when Judy is walking with Ed through the pathway in the church, we see some very familiar faces from the previous Conjuring movies, as well as James Wan, which was surprising, but it was nice to see him being involved in still today, because he's the one that produced the Conjuring. He might not have directed part 3 and 4, but he was still involved, and it was kind of sweet to just see everybody again there. Some faces from, I think, Conjuring 2 or 1. But yeah, it was really nice, and I think it was a very perfect send-off for the Conjuring franchise. What do I rate this movie? I would rate this movie a solid 8 out of 10. Reason being, it is my first horror movie in the cinema, but I've grown up with the Conjuring franchise, with everything it has to do with the Conjuring Universe. I've grown up with it. The very first Conjuring movie came out in 2013. I was in grade 3 and I've watched it. So you can imagine, me and horror from an early age, I've grown up with these people. So obviously I feel somewhat connected to them. And with the movies, obviously, I still say to this day, nothing tops the very first Nun movie and the second part of Annabelle. I don't know what the second part of Annabelle is, but the second part of Annabelle and the first part of the Nun, you can't top that. Part 2 is still my favorite Conjuring movie. Part 1, obviously I grew up with it, but we're not going to go into the statistics of everything else. I rate this movie a solid 8 out of 10. I genuinely enjoyed it. I have a few pictures up, if you can see it. I took a picture of the frame of the movie. I always take a picture of the frame of the movie poster. It came out blurry. When I took the picture, it came out normal, but the moment I reviewed the picture again, it came out blurry, which perfectly adds to the whole theme of this movie, and I'm so glad it came out blurry because it just fits, you know. But yeah, I genuinely enjoyed The Conjuring Lost Rites. It's kind of sad that it's over, but I hope it's not over, you know. Go watch it. Also, yeah, that's all my time that I have for my review for The Conjuring Lost Rites. I hope that you would enjoy the video, and if you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below of what other movies you would like me to review. And yeah, that's all I have. So, as always, I will see you in my next video. Starblazers signing out. Peace.